She lost her entire family in a tragic accident. But one day, her daughter appears at her doorstep. How is that possible? Welcome, my wonderful friends, to another exciting movie journey with us. Get ready as we bring you the full gist about this popular Nigerian movie, packed with morals and hidden lessons. But before we continue, make sure to subscribe because we have lots of interesting movie goodies coming your way. So sit tight and let's roll. Monica, a busy and cheerful woman, is seen working in her office when she receives a call from her husband, Wilson. They talk for a while before Monica's colleague, Juliet, comes in to inform her about a meeting in the boardroom. Monica quickly ends the call and heads to the meeting. Later in the boardroom, Monica leads the discussion with her colleagues about the company's growth. That same day, Wilson goes to pick up their daughter, Mira, from school. While on the way home, Mira excitedly tells her father that she got the highest score in mathematics. Wilson is proud of her and decides to treat her with a box of pizza. He makes Mira promise not to tell her mother, Monica, about it, and she agrees. Later that evening, Monica returns from work and is warmly welcomed by her lovely daughter, Mira. She then greets her husband, Wilson. Monica asks Mira about her day at school, and Mira shares everything that happened, including how one of her school friends, Vicky, treated her badly. Feeling hurt, she says she wants to retaliate. However, Monica immediately asks her, "What would Jesus do if he were in your shoes?" Mira thinks for a moment and replies, "Jesus would make peace instead of trouble." Monica feels so proud of Mira, and they both get up to continue their conversation inside, leaving Wilson smiling from ear to ear. Later that night, while Wilson and Monica are chatting, Wilson requests that Monica take a week off to spend time with him for their 13th anniversary. Monica takes a deep breath, unsure of what to do because of her busy schedule at work. As they continue talking, Mira comes into their room to sleep and reads a Bible verse before dozing off. The next morning, after dropping Mira off at school, Wilson returns home while Monica is rushing to work. She thanks him for taking Mira to school and heads out. At work, Monica calls her boss to request a week's leave to celebrate her anniversary with Wilson, and her boss grants the request. Later that day, Wilson picks up Mira from school. She tells him she wants to go with them on their anniversary trip, but Wilson convinces her that she doesn't need to go and promises to make it up to her soon. The next day, Mira is all set to go to her grandma's place for a visit. However, she expresses her sadness about being apart from her parents. Monica reassures her that she will have a great time with her grandma. Mira then leaves with her dad. Mira's hesitation about going to her grandma's place almost feels like a sign that something is about to happen, but no one is paying attention. Let's see what happens next. A few hours later, Monica receives a devastating call informing her that Wilson and Mira have been involved in a ghastly motor accident and are in the hospital. She rushes out of the house immediately. At the hospital, Monica's colleague and friend, Juliet, comes to be with her. Monica is deeply distressed, praying that nothing happens to her husband and child. A few minutes later, a female doctor arrives with heartbreaking news. Wilson and Mira didn't make it out alive. Monica lets out a loud cry, looking like someone who refuses to accept her reality. What would you do if you were in Monica's shoes? Let's discuss in the comments. A few days later, Monica is at home, mourning the loss of her husband and daughter. Juliet stays by her side, trying to console her. She gently reminds Monica that God will not abandon her, but Monica immediately cuts her short, telling her not to mention God's name again. She feels that God has abandoned her by taking away the only things that gave her joy. She tearfully recounts how she prayed and wailed, yet she still feels forsaken. A month later, Monica is still deep in mourning, looking like a shadow of herself. One day, she has a flashback to when she told Mira that whenever she feels depressed or sad, she reads the Bible to comfort and calm herself. It always makes her feel better. Back in the present, Monica picks up her Bible and tries to read it, but the pain and resentment she feels toward God overwhelm her. She drops the Bible and begins questioning him. In despair, Monica leaves her room and goes to the kitchen, taking a rope to end her life. As she prepares to use it, she sees an imaginary image of Wilson telling her not to do it. She reaches out toward him, but the image vanishes. Monica falls to the floor, shaken. and the moment stops her from going through with it. Later, she goes to Mira's bed, lying down as she recalls the beautiful and happy moments they shared. Suddenly, she stands up and begins questioning God again, asking if he is happy seeing her suffer. Then she declares that everything ends today. She heads back to the kitchen, this time taking a knife to end her life. As she raises the knife, she sees another imaginary image, Mira, warning her to be careful with the knife because it might hurt her. The image disappears, leaving Monica staring in shock. At that moment, Juliet enters the house and quickly takes the knife away. She leads Monica to her bedroom, brings her a glass of water, and immediately calls a doctor to inform them about Monica's condition. Juliet begs Monica to pull herself together, but Monica tearfully tells her that the only thing she wants is her husband and daughter. She gets up and moves to the sitting room, lying down in exhaustion. Juliet joins her, silently staying by her side. Monica then has flashbacks of the beautiful memories she shared with Wilson and Mira, including the last time she saw them alive. Some days later, Monica sits in the living room, looking hopeless and mentally drained. She begins questioning God again when an image of Mira appears before her, asking, "What would Jesus do in your condition?" Monica is immediately lost for words. Later that night, feeling restless, Monica searches for her antidepressant medication, but all the containers are empty. She becomes agitated and unsettled. The next morning, Juliet arrives and finds Monica unconscious. Panicked, she quickly calls for an ambulance. At the hospital, the doctor informs Juliet that Monica's condition is critical because she has been overdosing on medication without eating, causing her system to shut down. The doctor stresses that Monica must eat properly to recover. Taking this to heart, Juliet takes it upon herself to help. Later that day, Juliet brings Monica home and ensures she eats. The next day, Monica sits in Mira's room, staring at a picture of her daughter, lost in thought. That night, she takes her medication and tries to sleep, but sleep does not come. After a month, Monica finally resumes work. Juliet comes by her office to greet her and welcome her back. Later that night, Monica takes her medication again and lies in bed, struggling to find sleep, but it remains elusive. What do you think will happen next? Will Monica find peace, or will her struggles continue? Let's discuss. The next morning, Monica is in her office, feeling restless again, so she takes her medication to calm her nerves. Juliet enters Monica's office and immediately notices that she isn't herself. She asks Monica if she is okay and whether she has taken her medication for the day. Monica replies that she doesn't know what is happening to her and that she has taken more than the prescribed dose. Juliet warns her that she can't keep abusing medication because it could lead to addiction or an overdose. Monica, irritated, shuns Juliet and tells her to stop talking because she has a headache. Understanding her friend's state, Juliet decides to let her be and quietly leaves the office. A few days later, Monica is pacing around her office when Juliet comes in to ask if she is ready for the presentation. Monica acknowledges and heads to the boardroom with Juliet. In the boardroom, Monica struggles to coordinate herself. Feeling overwhelmed, she apologizes and leaves for her office, with Juliet following behind. Back in the office, Juliet asks Monica how many times she has taken her medication for the day because it is clearly affecting her. Monica responds that the medication is supposed to work in her body, not cause such reactions. The next day, after work, Monica is about to head to her room when Juliet suggests that she rest a bit in the sitting room before going inside. Initially, Monica insists on going straight to her room, but she later agrees to sit down. As Juliet is about to turn on the TV, she notices Monica reaching for her medication again. Juliet reminds Monica that she only needs to take the medication once a day. Monica then asks Juliet what she is supposed to take when she doesn't even want to be alive. Juliet just looks at her and remains silent. The next day, Juliet tries to persuade Monica to eat, but she refuses. Instead, Juliet hands her a handbill for a rehabilitation center. Monica takes it, but doesn't say much. Later that day, as she struggles to sleep, she picks up the handbill and glances at it once. The following day, Monica finally goes to the rehabilitation center to seek help. Her first therapy session is difficult because she still has a lot of emotional burdens to release. The next day, she returns for another session. She starts making progress as she answers the therapist's questions. However, the moment the therapist mentions the name of God, Monica gets angry, warns her never to mention it again, and storms out. The next day, Monica sits outside when the therapist joins her. The therapist shares her own story of how she was once angry with God after losing her husband and children in a car accident, but everything changed when she felt the genuine love of God. Monica listens attentively. That night, instead of taking her medication, Monica decides to read a book to help her sleep. The following day, during another therapy session, the therapist asks Monica about her childhood, sensing that she needs to address the root of her pain. Monica then opens up about how she was raped by an assistant pastor. She told her parents about it, but they didn't believe her and accused her of trying to ruin the pastor's reputation. She also reveals how she got pregnant, had to drop out of school, and later gave birth. Her mother then told her that her child had died from a fever. Monica admits that she hasn't seen her parents in over a decade. The therapist gently tells her that she needs to let go of the past and heal. In that moment, they share a comforting hug. What would you do if you were in Monica's situation? Do you think she will find healing and peace, or will her past continue to haunt her? Let's discuss. A few days later, Monica had finally gotten herself back together. She went to thank the therapist for helping her and told her that she was leaving the rehabilitation center. Later that night, Monica decided to read the Bible for the first time in 3 months. The next day, Monica went to see her parents and reconciled with them. Her parents asked for her forgiveness, admitting that they later found out she had been telling the truth about the assistant pastor. He had also impregnated other young girls in the church. As they were talking, a young teenage girl named Savannah came out of the house to give Monica's mother some information, and then went back inside. Monica's parents then told her that Savannah was actually her daughter. The child she had believed had died years ago. Monica was shocked. She spent some time with Savannah, overwhelmed by emotions. Monica returned to her office, filled with excitement and enthusiasm. Later, she brought Savannah home and showed her Mira's picture and room. A few days later, Monica took Savannah to see the therapist. The therapist was overjoyed when Monica introduced Savannah to her. Holding Monica's hand, the therapist reminded her never to let the whispers of pain get to her again, and to never let go of God. No matter what, they all went inside, happy and at peace. The moral lesson of this movie is that no matter how deep our pain may be, healing is possible when we choose to let go of the past, embrace forgiveness, and trust in God's plan. Even in our darkest moments, love and redemption can find their way back to us. And that's it, guys. Thank you for joining us in this exciting episode. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell for more interesting and fascinating episodes like this. Till we meet again, goodbye.